Thank you. So excited to be here at the Social Innovation Summit. Hopefully you guys all had incredible breakouts where you learned something new, or you met someone new, or you were inspired. And hopefully you were inspired to embrace humanity, because that is the title of session 6 here today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Aria Finger. I am the Chief of Staff to Reid Hoffman and the co-host of the Possible podcast with Reid. If you don't know, Reid is an investor, a philanthropist, co-founder of LinkedIn. If you used LinkedIn in the last 2 days, it is because of Reid. I haven't been at the Social Innovation Summit since pre-pandemic, back when I was the CEO of Do Something, a youth organization. And it just honestly feels incredible to be back. Anyone who has seen me over the last 24 hours has seen the smile I've had on my face from the incredible friends, new and old, that I have seen. So we're going to talk about embracing humanity. And I think that's critically important in the new age of AI. We have all dedicated our lives to lifting up humanity, making sure that the amazing prosper in our world is spread equitably. And in the age of AI, people are worried about humanity suffering. And I want to make sure that AI is augmenting humanity, amplifying humanity, making sure that everyone can enjoy the things that we enjoy. So I'm going to kick it off. I'm going to talk a little bit about AI, media, and democracy. Talk about the problems with democracy pre-AI, and then what the coming of AI means both positively and negatively for democracy. So before I kick it off, the question on everyone's mind that I was literally asked 25 times yesterday: what does the Chief of Staff to Reid Hoffman actually do? Well, that's classified. No, but seriously, I help Reid on his quest to lift up humanity, whether that's his for-profit investments, his investments with Greylock, his philanthropy. I work with his political team, and I also work with him on his content projects, whether that's books, podcasts, etc. Happy to talk more later. So when you think about democracy, when I worked at Do Something, we were one of the largest organizations that registered young people to vote. And so what worked to get young people registered to vote and to get people of all kinds voting? So what worked was pretty simple. You make voting plans, you create parties at the polls, you nudge people via text, especially if it's from a friend. But I would argue that there was one thing more important than anything to get people to vote, and that's identity. Like Seth Godin says, people like us do things like this. It's not even enough to say, I'm voting. You need to say, I'm a voter. I'm the type of person who votes, and so do my friends, and so do the creators and celebrities that I follow. So let's talk about identity and democracy. This is a Facebook page from the organization Blacktivist. In 2016, misinformation was really effective. Perhaps it wasn't the whole ballgame, but it was effective at affecting the election. And the Russians' internet research agency created this Facebook page, Blacktivist, to reach Black Lives Matter voters. And they were the #1 organization reaching Black Lives Matter's voters in 2016 with misinformation. So you might think, okay, we've said it all along. The problem is Facebook and social media. And social media might be a concern. But let me take you a brief aside. It was also back in 2016 that while social media was critical, private messaging passed social media in terms of the number of messages sent. There are 25 billion texts sent a day, 65 billion WhatsApp messages, 347 billion emails. Private messaging dwarfs social media. And that will be critical for something I talk about later in the presentation. So let's go back to this Russian Facebook page. In 2016, they were super effective. So you might say to yourself, well, what happened next? Well, they ran the same playbook in 2018 and 2020, but it didn't work because we fought back, including through some amazing organizations like Push Black, which is a lifestyle organization that reaches Black Americans with content that is relevant to them all year round, not necessarily about democracy. But then during election season, they reach their members with information, high quality, targeted information about voting and democracy. And because they were so effective at reaching Black Americans, they drowned out the fake misinformation that Blacktivist was providing. So what about AI? When people think AI, they think about deepfakes and misinformation. How many of you guys have seen this clip from The Office? I will play a few moments in case you haven't.
Are you wearing lady clothes?
What?
Are you wearing lady clothes? Those look like lady pants.
No, this is a power suit.
That there's a woman's suit.
I do not buy women's clothes. Do not make that mistake again.
I'm gonna call Roy, man.
Okay.
This is gonna make
All
me
right.
feel better. This is too good.
All right. You know what? Dan, would you please tell Daryl that this is not a woman's suit?
Oh my God, that's a woman's suit.
You're wearing a woman's suit?
No, I do. I wear men's suits. Okay, I got this out of a bin. There were these huge bins of clothes, and everybody was rifling through them like crazy, and I grabbed one, and it fit. So I don't think that this is totally just a woman's suit. At the very least, it's bisexual.
Who makes it?
Mysterious. It's European, okay? It's a European cut.
The pants don't have any pockets.
No, they don't. See? Italians don't wear pockets.
Hey, maybe you want to come over and raid my closet.
No, I don't want to do that because I'm twice your size anyway.
Yeah, he looked like Hillary Clinton.
So that was pretty funny, but also perhaps terrifying. I don't know how many of you guys have seen this deep fake Joe Biden ad that The Daily Show created. I absolutely will not be playing it right now because if you've seen it, it is not safe for work. But take a look at it later. So I would posit that a combination of deep fakes and AI will allow organizations like the Internet Research Agency in Russia or others to create tens of thousands of videos of Joe Biden in compromising positions. And that sounds terrifying, but yet who you are and what you believe will depend on whether you believe in that or you don't. I would actually posit that we lost so much truth before AI came that this was a problem that needed to be solved regardless of this misinformation. The scary thing is also, as I said before, we might not even know that these deepfakes are happening because they won't be on social media. People will be texting them, they'll be snapped, private messaging. These won't be on social media, they might be in private messages, and so we don't even know they're happening. So democracy was broken before AI. We all know that 3/4 of Trump voters incorrectly believed that the election was stolen. Trust in our media was also broken. This is a great report from YouGov, a horrible slide, I know, but I put it up. And the gist of it is just that, in general, Republicans have a net negative perception of the mainstream media. And I'm not picking on Republicans. You might say, oh, that's right, the mainstream media is garbage and shouldn't be trusted. But it's the fact that we do not trust our institutions. The New York Times has a net negative 30 trust rating from Republicans. But who we actually get our information from is broken too. So who do we get our information from? Well, creators and followers. I'm going to give you an example from young people from this past October. We get our information from creators and followers because they create a parasocial relationship with their followers because that you feel like you know them and you trust them. So go back to October 2022, about 9 months ago. Yell out the answer, please. For young people, who do you think was the most influential celebrity or creator to reach young people this past October 2022, 9 months ago? Any guesses? Come on, come on. Taylor Swift? Olivia Rodrigo? Emma Chamberlain was number 3. Mr. Beast was number 2. And Andrew Tate was number 1. He was Googled more times in 2022 than Trump, Kim Kardashian, and the Queen of England combined. Searched 22 billion times on TikTok. He doesn't even have a TikTok. And he was filling young men's minds with garbage. And I'd argue that he was one of the only people talking to young men at the time. And so the insight here is that these creators can create rabid fan bases, often under the radar of the general population. A lot of you know who Andrew Tate is now, but a lot of you didn't know before he was arrested. Young people found out first, and then people became concerned. So, in a post-generative AI world, the most valuable resource we have is not content, it is human attention. I would argue that AI and ChatGPT are so engaging that we have to use that engagement for good. So can AI be part of the solution? Well, as content creation scales exponentially with AI, that doesn't mean that our attention will. There are diminishing returns. And we may have already reached that point of diminishing returns. So can AI help us stop this? I don't know. But I do know that there's going to be some bad stuff coming with AI. So if we don't use the positive stuff that can come with AI, that seems like a really bad idea. Can we flood the zone with truth? If we have bad actors at scale creating disinformation, can we have good actors at scale creating good information? Here are 5 preliminary ideas. Push back, push black. I talked about them before. But I'd say again, in this post-generative AI world, communities of trust and affinity and loyalty are going to become even more important. And AI is going to allow us to create them more cheaply, more efficiently, and more effectively. We can use AI in our own creators and the power of identity to fight back. What if we had a chatbot in her own voice and her own words that answered young people's questions about voting and misinformation and democracy and had information from Ballot Ready? Number 3, one of my favorites, Justice Text. They're a for-profit company that is using AI to help public defenders use body cam footage to help their defenders go free. And with 70 million Americans with arrest records, I think it's pretty critical that our criminal justice system works. A lot of people have valid concerns that the people who are creating AI don't look like the people it should be serving. We should be supporting amazing organizations like ColorStack. I think Jaron Petty's in the room, shout out. DevColor, CodePath, so many more that help get Black and Latino technologists at the forefront of AI. 5, a host of good government reforms. Legal aid clinics, bills that are readable by the general public. This is what LLMs does best. They synthesize and they summarize so that we don't have senators who are voting on bills they haven't read. And just a more efficient, well-run government for the people. There is so much more to discuss. I'm happy to talk AI anytime. But because we always should end with hope, I'll end with one of the faves. Thank you so much. Let's embrace humanity. And now I have the pleasure of introducing Social Innovation Summit's Poet in Residence. I just love that we have a poet in residence. Charles Ray Patton II. Let's give him a huge round of applause.